Hey, my name is Bryan Welch, and I want to tell you my story. And I wouldn't have believed it if someone told me that my life was going to unfold like it did. But all I wanted to do was be a musician, and I wanted to make a living at it. And I wanted to do metal music because I listened to AC/DC when I was a kid, the Back in Black album. And I was like, I want to bang my head for a living. I got bullied as a kid, and so I would just go in my room and listen to music and learn the guitar, and that was like my everything. It was my everything. That and motorcycles. But so yeah, I met the guys who would later become a big deal in my life, and we formed these little cheesy bands, like little heavy metal bands that sounded like Motley Crue or Rat, and we weren't very good, but when we turned 18, we all decided to move to LA because we grew up in Bakersfield, California, and we formed a band called Korn in 1993. Our singer that joined us, he worked as a mortician assistant when he was young, and so we talked him into joining our band, and he came in, and what he wrote about a lot was childhood issues, abuse, a lot of just heartbreak, parental issues, stuff like that. And so once we started playing out, a lot of people connected with us because there's a lot of hurting people in the world, and we became kind of like a voice for the wounded, if you will. And we got a record deal around 94, and we went to record our first album, Hit the Road. There's a lot of drugs involved in the beginning. We had it under control because we wanted our career to take off. We wanted to be famous rock stars. So once we hit our first record, it came out, and it instantly started selling like 1,500, 2,000 records a week, and it just went through the roof. The second record came out, hit number 3 on Billboard. We were opening for people like Ozzy Osbourne, Megadeth, Danzig, Marilyn Manson. We kept climbing. We kept climbing and climbing and climbing, and the party kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and the drug abuse kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I got to the point where I wanted everything to end, and I just got tired of living. I got tired of the drug addiction. I got tired of everything, and I started getting suicidal. I got divorced. Everybody in the band got divorced. Everybody was addicted to something, whether it's drugs, sex, alcohol, money, fame, and it was really dark. And so I got on crystal meth and pills and whatnot, and I got really suicidal. So I ended up back in Bakersfield at a church. I just got tired of being famous, and I went back to where my folks were, and some friends of mine invited me to a church. They told me about Jesus. I made fun of them, and then I went to church with them, and once I heard that it's a real thing, that God will prove to you he's real, I was like, wait a second. So this God that you're talking about, this Jesus, will come and live inside of your life and help you stop hurting yourself and give you the best life possible. I was like, either these people are brainwashers or they have the meaning of life. At that moment, at 34 years old, I needed it to be real. And I went home and I prayed and I said, Jesus, if you're real, you prove it to me. Come into my life. Take these drugs from me. My daughter was 5 years old at the time, and I was like, she needs a dad that will be present and healthy for her. Please give me a new existence, because everything in my life is completely shallow and empty. And long story short, I had an encounter with God's love at home, outside of the church. After I prayed passionately, I poured my heart out to him in prayer, and he revealed himself to me. I felt the glory of God come around. I felt an embrace in the spiritual realm. I felt forgiven. I felt clean. I felt empowered to fight for my daughter and fight for myself. And the one thing I just want to bring up, forgiveness, because I had a lot of forgiveness that I had to learn. I had to learn to forgive myself. I had to learn to forgive my parents, especially my dad growing up. I wronged a lot of people, and a lot of people wronged me. I went to once I heard about forgive everything, and I went door to door to everybody. I was like, please forgive me, even if they were the ones that harmed me and did wrong to me. And I was like, I want to be free. But the number one forgiveness thing that I had to walk through was my daughter. Even though I was a Christian, God did not heal all of my issues right away. And so I had all these encounters with his love, but once I went and lived life, I battled and I would explode with anger and rage. And my daughter at a young age would see me punch holes in my walls and like scream even at her. Sometimes I scared her. I would apologize and say, I'm so sorry, I love Jesus. And then I would do it again. And I was a single dad, and it was just really hard. And so I lost her to just massive suicidal thoughts and rebellion and depression. So a lot of things I walked through. So I had to walk through forgiveness with God, with myself, and then my daughter got help, the help that she needed, and she went and walked through forgiveness for me. And I don't have rage anymore. I have a little bit of anger, but not rage anymore. So I'm free, I'm healed, and forgiveness is everything for me because I've been forgiven, and I've forgiven myself, and I don't hate myself anymore, and I give myself grace to make mistakes. And me and my daughter are closer than we've ever been in our whole lives now.